Many years back in the serene village of Caldwell, Liberia, there dwelled a pair who seemed ideal externally, but were gradually crumbling internally. Their names were Tambu Kai and Lyra Kai. When folks spotted them strolling arm in arm to services each Sunday dawn, they'd remark things like, "Look at those two. The Lord truly favored them." From afar, they seemed an idyllic duo. But within that lovely home with vivid green fences, they existed in quiet dread. Their affection had crumbled ages ago without a whisper. Lyra was a kind soul who could ease outsiders with merely a grin. Pre-wedding, she taught school, adoring kids so deeply that guardians entrusted her with their infants unhesitatingly. She envisioned running a modest education hub someday, molding youthful thoughts. When she initially encountered Tambu, she'd discuss it eagerly, assuming he'd back her goals. But post-nuptials he persuaded her to quit employment, claiming a proper spouse ought to remain domestic and prioritize kin. Though agonizing to abandon her calling, she complied, since she thought love equaled concession, and harmony meant consensus. For 8 arduous years, they attempted offspring, and monthly it flopped. Lyra sensed her soul being sliced open gradually like a blade, particularly when pals conceived easily. She concealed sobs in the washroom and beneath cushions. Worst, Tambu's relatives faulted her relentlessly. They'd declare outright that a barren female cursed her mate. At times she wept till breathless, clutching her abdomen as if forcing vitality into it manually. Yet despite agony, she never accused Tambu nor griped to others. Convinced someday the divine would grant a wonder and all would clarify. What she ignored, and none globally knew, was 2 years wedded. Tambu covertly underwent fertility exam, where the physician confided his seed tally was minuscule, nearly inconceivable for procreation. He departed the clinic rattled with humiliation, wrath, and disgrace, valuing image over honesty. Thus he concealed findings. He incinerated the document and feigned normalcy. But thence he endured profound uncertainty that warped his core daily. Then, one pivotal day, Lyra discovered she carried that day. She twirled the residence like one-handed paradise's entry. She prepared Tambu's preferred dish, spicy stew with new catch, and knelt near him with tears cascading. "Darling, the Lord achieved it for us. We're expecting a babe." She anticipated him hoisting her joyfully or weeping alongside or embracing firmly. But he remained rigid like frost, gazing with rigid expression, uttering solely, "Certain." She chuckled amid tears, believing jest from astonishment. So she embraced him thrilled. "Aye, my dear, our wonder." He grinned and reciprocated. But deep in his torso, a sinister notion sprouted like mold. If medically unable, whose offspring this? And thence he ceased viewing her lovingly and commenced with doubt, monitoring each gesture, each call, each destination, each chat. Rather than rejoicing her gestation, he handled her like a suspect under probe. Yet Lyra unnoticed the shift, too occupied conversing her unborn nightly, caressing her swell tenderly and supplicating gleefully. She deemed the infant indication the divine recalled her sorrows, vowing inwardly to nurture him or her in affection and tranquility. When the male infant came, they dubbed him Kendo. Lyra sensed her soul burst with bliss. She cradled him near and murmured repeatedly, "My wonder, my boon, my evidence the divine never overlooks." All visitors felicitated the pair and declared their union now whole. But late one eve, while Lyra dozed with babe Kendo on her bosom, Tambu loomed at the chamber threshold, eyeing them with venomous and arrogant orbs, murmuring inwardly, "If this babe ain't mine, I'll ruin all." And that eve, he resolved a paternity exam. The day the paternity packet reached appeared routine outwardly, but inside the Kai abode, something ominous lurked to devour the glow. Tambu, home early, entered the parlor with strained visage that even partitions sensed strain. He clutched a tan-sealed packet and loomed over Lyra silently as she perched on the couch, swaying babe Kendo to her torso. She upgazed beaming, convinced her spouse bore glad tidings. "Home soon today, dear, all well." Tambu mute, merely seated gradual, and eyed her prolonged, overly, the sort that unnerves sounds reason. Then he set packet on surface and nudged mildly toward her. "I ordered a paternity and outcomes arrived today. Unwanted solo open. Jointly we should." Her pulse halted briefly, not dread, but thrill since she harbored no secrets. "Surely, let's unveil, I know reality." She extended, but he grazed her palm and head shook gradual. Me peruse first, and she yielded since trusted him beyond self. He unsealed packet meticulously and extracted creased sheet, but eyes on inked phrase. He sealed them firm and inhaled keenly like death tidings recipient. He dropped sheet dramatically and veiled face with palms quaking. Knew it, Lyra. How could Lyra's frame iced? All blurred initially, as if dust eyes poured. She seized sheet with quivering palms and eyed words inked black. Paternity likelihood 0%. Her entire form chilled instant. Dizzy felt. Room whirling. Throat sealing. She breathed with quaking lips. Nay, untrue. I'd never strayed, never contacted another. Tambu table-fisted so fiercely, Babe Kendo awoke, wailing. He jabbed finger at her with tears flowing. Lie not, fool me, think. How conceived when Doc informed? Explain. She eyed him, baffled, stunned, horrified, head violent shake, and sobbing wildly. What, Doc? Mean what? Never strayed. Tambu, vow on existence. Vow on Mars' tomb. Vow afore divine. Nothing aired. And then he administered venom gradual and sleek, like dagger gliding soft tissue sans noise. Recall Eve home weeping from kins, inebriated and quaking and floor-dozed. Recall not post-I Lyra, inhaled since recalled, that evived infertility overwhelmed and relatives urged Cypru merely unwind. She intoxicated and wept to profound slumber. Recalled zilch post head down, but instant mentioned, sinister portal mind opened in terror wind entered swift. Her timbre, fragmented quakes, mean ... mean occurred. Mean someone contacted. He averted gaze gradual. Tried shield, but pain lone endured, feigning fine, untold as unwanted shatter. And there, her thoughts fractured wholly since skepticism deadlier than charge. She clutched Babe Kendo firm to bosom and floor slid, weeping lungs, weeping marrow, weeping grief, soul knows spot. She chest-fisted and howled, Lord, what deserved? Never strayed. No, never strayed. But Tambu knelt near and engulfed. Fine, needless tell any, betwixt us, keep. None believe anyhow. Won't evict, stay for lad, but never same view. Now that phrase became solocking cell. Thence, Tambu never yelled anew, never overtly insulted or disputed, merely dominated quietly, reminded daily mild brutality, forgave. Oh all, oh existence, isolated from pals, uttering, cautious, pals chatter excess, unwont, no unloyal, barred kin visits saying, discover they'll condemn. Also halted her grin, think, free breathe and gradual, very gradual, self-doubt commenced and him believe. Commenced query self what if truly occurred that Eve and unrecall. Commenced view self unworthy and commenced contract silence. Voice vanished first, then chuckles trailed, then assurance till self evaporated. Woman once joy walked, now walked like boulders back carried. Woman once loved believed, now mistake believed. Woman once dreamed, now survival mirrors triumph counted. For years, Lyra endured mute torment, her plight. Though outer world persisted admire kin, deeming blessed as ever, composed outstepped jointly. Soul abode walls new reality. Babe Kendo grew lofty, striking, clever. He adored sciences, delved health tomes, and queried ever that educators beamed proud. Yet each mother gaze sensed heavy her essence, like unseen bonds restraining. One dusk post meal, when Kendo about 12, he beside perched on couch and queried, Ma, why unlaw like other Mars? See smile ever, but eyes unreach. Lyra, rigid brief, hiding tears, rear-practiced beam. Fine sun, existence heavy sometimes. Kendo head shook like obstinate we see her, heavy liftable too. Ma, a need, solo bare. Tambu parlor entered that instant, and throat cleared loud authority. Kendo, chamber go, late. Kendo furrowed, and Ma embraced, air eyes. Night, good. Ma, love you. Lyra back breathed. Love you too. My core. Instant Kendo departed. Tambu opposite chair sat and eyed. Way one eye's owned thing, not loved one. What telling? He sharp queried. She gulped hard, not harmful. Queried why unsmile much. Tambu lips curled mild. Kit's foolish query. Teach mind own, and you too cease so shattered look always. Folk suspect commence. She head lowered swift. Trying Tambu, he nearer leaned and menaced. Recall, ever tell. grateful, forgave, and retained. If world tell did, stone you, seize kendo, and all lose. So act, and thankful. She gradual nodded. I recall, and each that phrase, she contracted more. By now, even fiend corner, sit and notes, pick from taboo, as man's brutality, another tear, never struck once, but near asphyxiated with control. If decision suggested, he'd chuckle mock. Woman like you, unspeak loud, please. If smile managed, he'd breathe. Alive today, mercy mine, unforget. If kendo tight hugged, he'd utter. Cautious, unbreak him way, broke union. And Lyra persisted contract like sheet, but remained as believed torment, penance for unconscious sin. One midday, when kendo 17, Hema found kitchen lone sat, wall blank staring with tears, silent cheeks run. He too rushed and palms tight held. Ma, who harms, tell, please tell. She head, desperate shook kendo. Unask, some better interred. He palms, squeezed. Unchild now, all see. PA prisoner treats. Why permit air? Answer. Taboo quiet, entered and threshold leaned like fiend. Cause remorse, pride, Rex, son. Ma, aired and undauble, and all consequence live. Kendo sharp turned. What, Taboo cold grinned. Ma, query, and departed. Kendo ma eyed wide baffled orbs. Ma, mean what? What? Her lips parted, yet soundless. Wept so fierce frame quaked. Palm over lips like stop self howl. Kendo beside knelt. Ma, please, what? She head shook. One day comprehend, but untoday. Please pardon. She arms around, tight wrapped, clinging sole reason unended own existence. However, 6 months post, fate Kai abode entered unknocked. Taboo, office collapsed amid session. Violent quake and unbreath. Hospital rushed where physicians tragic relayed. Both organs failed. Needed graft, urgent. Physician uttered, must examine all kin for potential givers. Examined all sibs, cousins, distant relations, but none matched. Finally, physician uttered, one option remains. Your lad, if matches, operation doable. Taboo's orbs broadened, and head uncontrollable, shook as entire existence built on assertion. Kendo unhiss. But what if truth unallowed breathed? Choice naught, he feeble retorted. Examine him. When outcomes, in Lyra and Kendo ward sat over Taboo watch. Physician betwixt Taboo and Lyra glanced, then uttered, tested lad Kendo. Outcome here. Actually perfect match. Rumized. Lyra hard gulped. Kendo's orbs broadened, and Taboo's whole frame quivered, as if in a blast. He stammered. That, impossible. He, on my blood. Paternity exam 17 years back. Physician mild interrupted. That about, reviewed old clinic file, sir, and odd, found. Paternity report, 0% declared unmatched any formal lab format or sign records. No original archive outcomes. Sole print, sans trace code, seems exam never truly done. Lyra repeated blinked, unbreath proper. Kendo forward leaned. Doc, mean pa forged exam. Physician uneasy toward. Taboo gazed. All proof, deliberate alter suggests. Someone real exam bypassed. Silence room engulfed. Lyra's timbre, uncontrollable quaked. Taboo, truth tell, ever real paternity did. Taboo's lips violent quivered. Tears orbs gathered, yet Finally, broken timbre he replied, nay, admission, air hung like blaze smoke. He face veiled with palms, and deeply wept, feared. Truth unfaced knew my outcomes, knew infertile, impossible father babe. And unbring accept possibility babe, unmine, preferred falsify outcomes, and spirit break, rather shameface, unable father. Unlet any weak think, so technician paid print negative, money gave, told unbother test, lead, and all lie, built. Lyra back reeled, till wall hit, breath lungs left. Truth unfaced knew my outcomes, knew infertile, impossible father babe, and unbring accept possibility babe, unmine. Preferred falsify outcomes and spirit break, rather shameface, unable father. Unlet any weak think, so technician paid print negative, money gave, told unbother test, lied, and all lie built. Lyra back reeled, till wall hit, breath lungs left, head violent shook, and floor gradual slid. Lips cover to restrain howl threatened tear. Kendo pa-eyed horror and incredulity. You, life ruined, ours ruined, 'cause what? Cause pride. Tambu harder wept, words choke, thought truth admit, folk ridicule. Man sans seed, unreal man world, merely self-shield tried. Kendo him-eyed absurdly, so me wrecked instead. 17 years, watched suffocate under undeserved guilt. 17 years, let believe violated. 17 years, watched self-hate. She chest-fisted, wildly sobbing, begged pardon, begged converse, begged cease torment. Tambu implored Lyra, please, sorry, need Kendo aid. Better PA from now, please pardon, ask, donate. Dying she eyed like taboo fruit, wanted mercy, mercy sow should, wanted affection, affection give should. Self-interred alive, 17 years caused lies and control, prison locked. Kendo ma beside stood, and shoulder guarding held, ma, not o. Physician anew spoke, Mr. Kai, medically sole chance, sans organ graft unservive made. Tambu, both palms extended, Kendo son, please, save, please. Kendo stepped back, spent whole existence act unyours. Doc turned, said mistake, said unfamily, said shame. Today needs as deeds court. Lyra gradual stood, tears wiped, and chin high lifted. First 17 years. Timbre steel uttered, son never life, risk for man ma, alive interred. Undying as no donna, undying as truth debts collect finally. She eyes direct gazed, pardon, but pardon uninclude, salvage. Doc turned, us remove emergency list, an hour duty longer. Kendo assented, farewell sir. And sans another phrase, mother and lad room exited jointly. Rear them, Tambu, uncontrollable tears collapsed, own existence wrecked, all lost. Hospital clash, supposed secret remain, but life sweetness sans minor theater. Insider's clinic leaked forged paternity mess to officials as expert codes breached and probe disciplinary inevitable. Within 2 days, hidden review, truth unearthed. Tambu bribed lab worker 17 years prior, fabricate negative outcome sans ever true exam. Worker, tearful confessed, and all concealed, docs provided. Law, immediate case, opened as emotional and mental torment, near 2 decades unminor and med file. Fraud, crime, heavy repercussions. Warrant Tambu statement issued, but yet bedbound agony, severe waiting, hoping perhaps savior heaven descend like drizzle arid soil. Meanwhile, home Lyra Payne sat holding warm brew, watching Kendo notes review. She face-studied an orb's fire, saw she never full before aloud. He upgazed and beamed, ma, what gazing? She backbeamed, gazing wonder, wonder life saved. Kendo rose, 2 walked, and arms tight enveloped, you my wonder to ma. First 17 years, Lyra, chest open, felt as if small hole breathed, and sudden fresh air found. Next dawn, duo lawmen and probe agent Ward entered. One lawman upspoke, Mr. Kai, under probe, med file, fraud, graft, and mental torment, rights silent remain. Tambu lids tight, sealed as tears flowed. Please, uno, dying lawmans. Timbre, cold stayed, justice unconvenience waits. Cage built and someone 17 years locked you ignore. Handcuffs rail placed and Tambu's palm locked as 2 frail rise. 3 weeks post, physician declared Tambu's state rapid worsened. All med paths failed, and all giver routes spent. Body gradual shutdown like wickless flame. He urgent Lyra requested out respect. She with Kendo went. Bedside stood, but unstead Tambu them eyed hollow orbs and quaking lips. No dying, no deserve. Just thanks come and sorry. Truly sorry, she gradual nodded. Already pardoned. Not you but own peace. He painful gulp, soul ever genuine loved, and love that hands own wrecked. Silence betwixt extended like lengthy path. He Kendo turned and uttered, son Kendo's orbs, sorrow full, but unear stepped, hope, peace, find. Alas, those final phrases Tambu heard ere last breath later, that eve lone, solely devices, and remorse surrounded year post. Lyra, Women Hub opened, named House of Shadows. Became secure spot women fleeing, mental torment, control, and egoists. Gradual, all desired did, specially since Kendo health studies away. Hi friends, thanks Storyview. This tale very touching me is not mere tale. Reality, many snared narcissists' grips. Mental torment, perhaps worst abuse form, as skin unbruise, but mind incurable bruise leaves. Sometimes kills unslap, but lie repeated till self-unbelieve. Now let tale eye open such folk, called shattered folk, and naught satisfies shattered more than shattered tall stander. So beware when affection prison becomes, and never, 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 someone power grant mind rewrite. Kindly thoughts, story, share me comments. What lesson learned story? Story share loved, and story thumbs give. Channel subscribe if undone by now. Till another tale bring way.